A show that I keep up with quite a bit, similar to like Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiance, is TLC's Unexpected. I was always a big fan of Teen Mom back in the day, and now I really enjoy Unexpected. I started watching it this season that they had that one dude who wouldn't let his girlfriend get the epidural. Well, at least he tried not to let her get the epidural because he's like, oh, she's gonna be on drugs with the epidural. It was a whole thing, and ever since then I was hooked. And I've been watching this season, especially with Bella and Hunter. Hunter is a 13-year-old boy who's about to be a dad, and I believe he knocked up Bella when he was originally 12 years old. I'm invested in a lot of the couples this season, but I'm also very invested in Bryce and Isabella's story. Like, Bryce just drives me up a freaking wall, and him and Isabella announced that they're now engaged, which I'm not gonna lie, that shocked me. I'm like, damn, I thought she was probably gonna move on. Let's just hope that Buddy Boy got himself a job and is helping contribute to his family now. I'll save that tangent for a separate video because I have a lot to say about that whole situation. But in this video, I want to go on a tangent regarding Bella and Hunter, because these two, it's already really hard for the parents to make these two stay away from each other because they literally live right across the street from each other in the country, and I feel like there's just so much land and space out there. Bella could literally go to the backyard and her parents could think she's in the backyard somewhere, but really she could just be right over at Hunter's house getting a quickie in and just run back over like nothing happened, with how close and accessible they are to each other. And it doesn't help that the parents really haven't done a really good job putting boundaries on their kids. Like, literally, they treat their kids like they're full-grown adults when it comes to their dating life. And I understand that they're kind of in an adult situation at this time because Bella has a baby on the way and they're both about to be parents. But they're too comfortable letting these kids spend all this private time together. And I don't know, when I was 12, 13 years old, there's no way in hell my mom was about to let me go over to a guy's house, let alone have time with a guy unattended. But anyways, what really shocked me in this last episode is they asked Bella, okay, what are you going to try to do to refrain from having any more babies, especially since right after the time you give birth, you're more likely to get pregnant. You're going to be very fertile. You need to be careful. So you need to have a game plan. And you can tell that she's not taking things very seriously because she's like, well, I don't want to get on birth control because I don't like the side effects. Well, how do you know about the side effects if you have even taken birth control before? I think she needs to get full-on education and talk to a doctor about these things instead of just taking like advice from people on TikTok or God knows who. Because yeah, I mean, some birth controls can have side effects. I mean, every medicine comes with side effects, but you got to weigh the pros and the cons. I mean, you can deal with maybe a little bit of weight gain, or maybe you might be a little irritable, but I mean, I think that outweighs having another baby when you're not ready. It's already going to be hard enough being a teen mom, let alone a teen mom to 2 children. And who knows, with your luck, you may get pregnant again, and that may happen to be triplets, and then you're all sorts of screwed because you can't keep up with that many babies. Hunter is still too young to even get a job at 13 years old. He's going to have to wait another 2-3 years minimum before he's even able to get hired anywhere likely and contribute to the family. So I think she needs to see like how much this baby is about to change her life and how expensive it is before she's so careless about having another baby. And I think as her parents, this is where her parents should step up and be like, okay, we're going to go get you the proper education. We're going to take you to the doctor. And this is where the parents should be kind of pushing her and forcing her to make these decisions. Like, okay, you may not want to get on birth control, but we're going to take you to the doctor and get you on birth control. Like, at 15, aren't they allowed to still medically make her medical decisions for her? I mean, they can't legally, I don't think, force her to take the birth control, but they can at least go get her on it at least. I mean, there's just side effects with everything. I've heard, like, if you get the one that goes in your arm that's implanted, I heard that can make you, like, really irritable. With birth control pills, you can break out really bad, and there's just all kinds of things. But there's also birth controls that don't give you any side effects, because, like, for example, I had a birth control I was on back in the day, and I started to have a little bit of acne. I talked to my doctor about it, and we switched to another birth control pill, and I was perfectly fine. And the like I said, the cons definitely did not outweigh the pros, and I think her parents need to push for that. And Bella's just so damn uneducated because she's like, well, me and Hunter decided that we might just have anal sex because he's wanting to try that out, and he thinks that's a way for me not to get pregnant. And that just goes to show how uneducated she truly is, because I mean, he can get off in her butt and it can drip down to her coochie, and she can still very easily get pregnant that way. Or if he gets tired, doing it there, and he sticks in the other hole, it's just too risky at this point. And the parents were listening to all this. She's just talking about all this in front of her parents, in front of her sister, like it's nothing. Like she's talking about how her day at school went. And I was like, damn, like I didn't even feel comfortable having any kind of conversations with my parents like that as a teenager. Like I think I had a conversation with my mom like once about, oh yeah, we did this because I ended up having a baby, but that was as a grown adult, and that's not going into details about anything. And it's like, damn, if you're talking about this in front of your parents like so nonchalantly, I can imagine what you guys are talking about behind closed doors. And her parents just acted like it was so normal, which just blew my mind. And the parents really didn't give her any pushback either. The parents should have been telling her, no, you guys, you can still get pregnant. That's a terrible idea. But they're just sitting there and they were like, well, you guys don't need to be having sex anyways. And she's like, yeah, we're not going to have sex until we're married. And we all know that's a damn lie. I mean, she talks about how every time he's around her, he can't control himself. Even if she doesn't have her makeup done and she looks crazy, he's still trying to get it in by any means. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep it in his pants until they're married. He probably can't even keep it in his pants for another week. I just feel like Bella's parents need to do a better job at setting boundaries between them and Bella, and between Bella and Hunter. And it got so bad to the point that Hunter's dad, Casey, in the show they make it sound like he was this dad that just was a deadbeat dad who abandoned Hunter and didn't give a damn about him. But according to the Ashley Reality Roundup, they got a hold of some court documents, and it revealed that Hunter's father, Casey, has been fighting for full custody of Hunter in court since April of 2025, an attempt to try to get him away from his mother, because he feels like his mother has put him in an unstable and an unwholesome environment. And I feel like she's just not really giving him any kind of pushback whatsoever. Like, it got so bad to the point that Hunter's own dad had to get involved. In the show, they made it seem like Hunter's dad is just this deadbeat dad that wants nothing to do with Hunter. But according to court documents, it sings a very different tune about Hunter's relationship with his father. Shout out to the Ashley Reality Roundup for obtaining the court documents, where they revealed that Hunter's father, Casey, started fighting for full custody of Hunter back in April of 2025 because he feels like his mother has put him in an unstable and an unwholesome living environment. So he did eventually get granted temporary joint custody of Hunter back in November, and also had the court put in place restrictions where Hunter is no longer allowed to live with his girlfriend Bella, and he is no longer allowed to stay over at her house and spend the night, which I 100% completely agree with. I feel like this should have never been a thing to begin with. I can see maybe letting them hang out with each other, like at somebody's house, maybe they hang out in the living room, watch TV or something, but to let them spend the night with each other all night, like in the same bed, that is something that grown folks do who have jobs and pay their bills and have their own places. Not what a freaking 13-year-old kid in middle school does with his girlfriend. And Hunter's mom tried to ask the judge to dismiss Hunter's dad case because she was like, well, he is abusive, he doesn't try to be in Hunter's life, so we just need to throw out the case altogether. The judge ended up denying Hunter's mother's request, and the father told the courts that Hunter's mother allowed Hunter to move in with his girlfriend, who ended up becoming pregnant shortly after, and he believes that Stacy, Hunter's mother, has provided Hunter with marijuana and does not make the minor child go to school. And he also claims that Stacy's providing an unstable and unwholesome environment for the minor child. And I mean, Hunter did reveal that he was failing a lot of his classes just because he didn't like to go to school. And I mean, at the end of the day, his mother is his mother. And like I was saying about Bella's parents pushing her to get birth control, it's Hunter's mother, her job to make sure that Hunter still goes to school at the end of the day. He may say he's tired or he don't want to go, but she still needs to get his butt up and go. And then I guess Hunter, his father, told the courts that it has been over a year since he was allowed to see Hunter back in July 2025. So eventually both of Hunter's parents were granted 50-50 custody. And part of that custody agreement is Hunter must remain enrolled at his local school. He must go to school, and he is not allowed to sleep at his romantic partner's house. And Bella is not allowed to come over and spend the night at his house either. And I'm glad that the father pushed for that, because something needed to happen. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about everything that went down in this last episode with Hunter and Bella. What do you guys think about this relationship? And what do you guys think about this season as a whole? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.